What's interesting to me is recently I made some videos about Donald Trump, and some of the Trumpies are bad-mouthing me. One said I should sit around in a rocking chair and watch game shows. Another said that they thought people were wise old when they got old until they listened to me. It was semi-intellectual, and another person said I should get new teeth. So they sound like Trump. They insult people, and they have the same Trump. The people that like Trump were two types of people: either the business person that thought Trump would make them money and do things to improve their finances, because they're money people, basically. Money good, money bad. They're very simple when you really think about it. They want money, and they felt Trump was good for money. And then you have the rough and ready type, that Trump's demeanor, his calling people names, his firing people, his the way he stirred up a crowd. And what a lot of people don't know, because I've been doing metaphysics all my life, is that Trump has when you look at all the letters of his name, it's the devil card. And the devil card is somebody that can seduce people and seduce crowds and get their way. And in negotiations, they usually get their way to get favors or considerations from people. And that's really been the story of Donald Trump. In the case of Adolf Hitler, his name was something like Adolf Schuckelberger or something, Gruber Schuckel, whatever. I did look it up, and his name and numbers added up to the dark side of the moon. And that means somebody that can cause war and havoc and confusion, and they're good at war and good at arguments and fighting and so forth. So the letters in somebody's name really prove basically who they are or what their capabilities are. So I made all these predictive videos about Trump since his presidency, about he wouldn't be a second term, that he was a juggler from his day of birth, and so forth and so on. And I felt that Kamala Harris unseated him. That was one of my predictions. And I also recently, with the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, I predicted within 1 point, a week before the Super Bowl, that Tampa Bay would win by 21, and they won by 22 points. So I'm not sitting watching game shows. I'm actually a psychic that makes predictions. But when I started telling people about how Trump really was, they started bad-mouthing me and calling me names. Well, that's okay. That's what Trumpies are. I coined the phrase Trumpies on a video about 4 years ago when he first took over the presidency. So I never heard that term before. I don't know if anybody else used it, but if they go back to my old videos, I called them Trumpies. And the Trumpies are annoyed with me because I'm not a big fan of his. I'm not an enemy of his. I just tell people what I see. And one of the arguments with Trumpy is he tells it how it is, but he calls people names. He called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. He called Mark Rubio Little Marco or something, and he called this guy Steve, after he got rid of him, he always calls him a name. He called him Stupid Stevie. So that's my take on it. I like the intellectual part of it. I don't really want the fighting and the hassles. I leave that to the people that are rude and crude. And Trump has the same appeal as the snake and the mouse or the rat. The snake devours the rat or the mouse, but they're hypnotized by him, and they're mesmerized by him. And yet the snake is not good for the mouse. Well, Trump hypnotizes and mesmerizes, Because when you look at the numbers and of his name and everything, it equals the devil card, one that can seduce people. So whether he seduces them doesn't necessarily mean he's good for them. But that's my take on it.